Ahoy, ahoy,
everyone.
Look at that. We had good lighting and...
Oh, look at that.
we don't.
And we restarted the computer. It's been very exciting around here.
It's been a stressful morning. Look at that.
We're blushing right here. Check it out. Here, check out our cohort behind us. They're going to stand in.
I think they should just stand in for today.
They were on time.
So, hi everybody. So I was so excited. Like, I did my first Twitch raid train yesterday. It was awesome. We got new lights. We got a new computer. Like, everything was like on point yesterday. And then we tried to get set up for the show today. And wow, I need coffee.
A little bit, yeah. Coffee right at the last minute. And check this out. We actually are prepared today.
We are prepared today. So apologies to everybody. So apologies to everybody for all the madness.
I know. Thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah, we're just trying to get it right. It's all the new technology. I gotta say, the new technology kind of killed me a little bit.
A little bit. Well, it's funny. Like, the technology on its own works, but when you put all of these simple systems together, they interact in unexpected ways.
And they sure did.
Like with
and you
LEGO
can see
mechanics.
that we're just like.
But we're so happy to see you and talk about. You got it, Lego.
So I'm curious. How's the new sound? We got a fancy new microphone.
Oh, we're on the new mic.
We're on the new mic. No, that was one of the problems. The old mic new mic wasn't working, and then I got it working, and then the color wasn't working, and it was all something. It was all a thing.
So yeah, I don't have headphones on right now. If you can hear what we're saying clearly and hopefully nice sounding, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we have all of our regular features, plus we're doing a history of modular buildings today.
We are, and we'll see how that turns out. I'm just trying to make us look like we have real skin tones.
Look at that! I look like I'm feeling better. I wasn't feeling bad before.
Well, after 2 years, we thank you all for bearing with us through all of this. But
I know, look at everyone who's here too.
Oh, good, we sound like radio DJs now, and we have better lighting, which is nice.
I'll put on my Wolfman Jack voice.
That wasn't anywhere close.
It wasn't. You know what? But I was like 7 years old when I was listening to Wolfman Jack, so I don't remember what he said.
Wolfman Jack talked like this. Kind of.
Did he?
That was more like Bluto or something. I don't know what that was.
Just a moment. I'll be right back.
I don't know what that was. Hi, everybody. So I am super excited. You can see, now you can see our screen phasing out because Richard moved. There we go. Hey, that's a little better, right? So I am busily trying to make all of the, I'm like pulling all the hamster that pulls all the wheels on our show is working overtime right now. I'm just letting you know. These are the things that happen when you add new technology. So we're doing our best, right? And thanks again for bearing with us through all of this. But I promise, on the other side of it, it's gonna be super awesome. So. That said, I hope that everybody's having a really great Wednesday. And we are doing a history of LEGO modular buildings. So I think this is going to be a fun show. But before that, we actually have some LEGO news and some other things. So let's see. I think the first thing that we may want to do is go for Disney pins. Now, Richard had to step away, so he can share his Disney pin in a minute, but I am going to share mine right now. I am sporting Dumbo's hat because I'll tell you that right now I feel like a big Dumbo after all that. That was an inauspicious beginning. Here we go. An inauspicious beginning to like the new stuff that we have planned for you. So there you go. I'm gonna wear that right now, and I'm gonna take another sip of coffee. It should be a hair clip. Yeah, my hair's getting long again. I'm gonna have to go get a haircut soon, right? But thankfully, I can do that now. Thank goodness. All right, so let's take a look at some Lego news, shall we? And we've also gotten something else fancy to show you, which I gotta say I'm kind of excited about. All right, you ready? Check this out. There, how's that? Yeah, so in this program, you have to add the new microphone into every single scene, which I didn't, so that was my bad. This is going to be a technologically difficult show. I'm just letting you know now. So just get ready, everyone, for technology fun. Anyway, so I hope you like, I know that the sound is like screwed up, but I hope you liked our new transitions. Like we have a new transition now, like things moving. Super fancy. So, okay. So announced was that we are going to be getting a new gift with purchase for May the 4th weekend, which we know is a big thing that's happening for Star Wars, May 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you, indeed.
Sorry, I had a brief disturbance in the Force.
Clearly. So this is the Tatooine homestead. Obviously, this is where Luke lived. I'm a little disappointed that there's not smoking skeletons outside of it.
Oh, no, this was the day before.
This was the day before.
Although there is a micro sand crawler there.
There is. So I know that there will be people who are really, really excited about this. Personally, it's not one of my, it's not going to be a must-have for me. But, you know, that's what they're all about, right? Yeah, the little dot characters made, and the tiny sand crawler is actually really cool.
That's any micro thing I really like.
Yeah,
And his house is so cute. It's like a bitty desert igloo.
Right?
How's that coffee doing?
It's good. I'm just starting to like calm down after that. That was like intense.
You've moved out of intense troubleshooting into the comfy space of hanging out with our friends.
That's right. And this is Brothers Brick. So thank you, Brothers Brick, for letting us share the news. Not yet, April. We're about to do that. So this is the other big reveal. And that is the 2,300 piece UCS style model of R2-D2 to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm. So,
and it's so big you can actually get inside and ride around.
Yes.
If you're very small. It's so cool. I love R2. There have been so many other like cute cute Star Wars creations since R2, but they're my favorite.
He's the OG cutie.
Yes.
He's the OG droid cutie.
I used to have on my ancient Apple computer, all of my system sound effects were R2-D2 sound effects.
Boop, beep, boop, boop.
Exactly.
Boop, boop, boop. Yes.
You have AOL mail.
So, oh, jeez. All right, so I'm really, really excited about that. I know that I think it's really cool. And I know that they've done a bunch of other models, and I know that this is an improvement over a past model that they've done, and they've also done robotic models of him that move around and stuff like that. So, there you go.
BB-8.
I know. Sorry, you're the second gen cutie, or maybe third generation cutie.
Well, you know what we have to do is put one of those new tiny video projectors inside the lens in the head, right?
Indeed. Okay, so that's the Lego news for today. Did you like that?
We just flowed right back.
Float right back. So everybody,
So that's the Lego news.
That's the Lego news.
TrickyBricks news.
That's the Lego news. But I wanted to share with you that we have some other really big news. and that is that we are no longer going to be using Brothers Brick as our news source.
Our pals at Brothers Brick, who we love.
Yeah, our pals at Brothers Brick, who've been really, really good with us.
But why wouldn't we need them, Flynn?
We don't need them anymore because as of 8:30 this morning, TrickyBricks is now official recognized LEGO fan media. RLFM.
And Brothers Brick, we will always need you, but we'll come to you just because of your great content.
So if this was Twitch right now, there'd be like things going off and like emoticons flying around and all of that. So we are so excited. I had my induction meeting this morning. Yes, poggers, bringing the Twitch energy over to YouTube. So yeah, that's really exciting, big news for us. And I feel like I was telling Richard the other day, I feel like we've hit like the big three now, right? Like we were on LEGO Masters. We've been invited to show our work at the LEGO House in Billund, and now we're recognized LEGO fan media. So that's crazy.
We are qualified to assemble LEGO bricks.
Officially.
Moto, look at all that. Look at all that.
So, awesome. I wish we could highlight that right now. But, yeah, so that's exciting news.
Thanks, Pete W.
It means that we are going to have now access to press releases and photos before the news actually comes out so that we'll be able to prepare a news show for you.
Yeah, we have ideas.
It also means that we will have review opportunities, which is really cool, and I think we're going to sort of split those between here and the Twitch show.
Part of the international media empire that is TrickyBricks.
International, yeah.
It is. We're international right now,
and hopefully, yes, Holly, we are going to be able to start doing interviews again.
Yay,
with
that's
designers,
so cool.
Which is another big bonus.
Check that out. We get to talk to designers about design with you.
So Joel Marbella asks, is RLFM different from LAN? So LAN is the LEGO Ambassador Network. It is a website where LEGO ambassadors can go.
Like
and,
Flynn is an
like
ambassador.
I am now a LEGO ambassador, everybody, like an official LEGO ambassador. I need a special like LEGO ambassador pin or something.
I think you need a sash.
I do need a sash. So
and a little sign on the desk in front of you.
So the LAN is a place where ambassadors can go, and then to be in the LAN, you can get a designation. You can either be recognized LEGO fan media, you can be an RLUG, a recognized LEGO users group, or you can be an RLOC, which is a recognized LEGO online community.
Wow, it's alphabet soup.
Yeah, so they are two different things. So yeah, so officially now we are LGBTQIA plus RLFM.
ROFL.
So I feel really good about that. So there you go. List of designer interviews, all of them, indeed.
Yay!
Please don't turn into just another LEGO news and novelty building stream. No, absolutely, that's not going to happen.
We have ideas.
We have plans on how we're going to make the news interesting. So, pretty excited about that. So I'm gonna here.
Yeah, it's the news, it's your history class,
and
it's your science class.
Thank you, April, so much. Thank you, April, so much. April B is here. April is the sort of like headed up the Twitch raid train stream that I'm on now. And we did the inaugural one yesterday, and it was really fun. And I played ukulele and sang on my Twitch channel. So that's the that's the kind of hard-hitting content you're only going to get on the Twitch stream, because that's not going to happen here. So if you want to see that, you'll have to head over to Twitch and subscribe to our Twitch channel.
I gotta say though, TrickyBricks was on YouTube before TrickyBricks was on Twitch, so I bet if we tried really hard, we might hear some ukulele here. It's pretty cheerful.
It's all about DCMA and rights and this and that and the other
We
thing.
have plans for that too.
We do have plans for that. Now, I want to say hi to everybody who's here, because there's a bunch of people who are here, and I got to say that y'all helped make this happen for us as much as we did.
In a huge way.
Yeah, because I mean, we could have just been out here talking to nobody, or just been here building and not paying attention to the community. But like, because of the relationship that we've forged with all of you and your continuing support of us has made this happen. So we super appreciate it.
Because we could have been here for a year talking to our camera with the mic not on, and if no one had told us, you know,
It's true.
200 episodes, no one heard.
It's true. Nobody heard anything. So anyway, just wanted to say hi. Albert Lee is here. Alexander 23, Anna G, April B. I love
Aubrey
Anna G and April
Kovac
B.
is here.
Aubrey, how's it going, Aubrey? Chris, what's your third favorite Lego set, Chalice? We'll tell you about that in a minute.
Yeah, we're honorary somethings. We'll tell you in a second.
Yes.
It's a secret.
So Darren Siegfried is here, Debo Bricks, Fabufan MKE, Gary Mullane, Gary Smith, the Greebling Wizard, Heather Mraz, I hope I said that right. Holly is here, Joel, he of many names, Marbella, Johnny Cat, hi Johnny, Minifig Chick, Minifig Nick, Monica Berry, and Moto. Oh, my favorite haiku.
And Mr. Ellie Daniel.
Mr. Ellie Daniel 1, even Panfred Nudo is here, bringing the energy. How's it going? Patrick Wismer is here. Patty Sharon.
Hi, Patty.
Hi, Patty. Rob Zaccardi and the Zaccardis. Lana, Vanessa, and Elena. Robin Eklund is here. Sarah Silverman. Shane Levan.
Hi, Shane.
I know the Hornburgers are here, so ahoy, hoy, Hornburgers. Mairead just popped in. I just saw her slide in there.
Wilfred is here.
Wilfred is here, bonsoir, and Kim Zerakino, wherever you may be. We are so excited, and thank you to everybody over on Facebook and here. Hey, James Wendell is here. How's it going? Good to see you. Jake Sadovich, great to see you. This is just. Oh, I did say it right. Awesome. I said the last time.
We have
right.
a lot of fun coming up. I'm going to show you a Disney pin, actually, because I have a pin for today. Oh, you already have your pin on.
Yeah, I did mine already while you were away.
Yeah, I have, today is Dopey.
Because I'm Dumbo and you're Dopey.
Blurry. There you go.
I think these are
ready to go to
appropriate
work.
for today, Dumbo and Dopey.
Look at his floppy purple hat.
Miss Slobricta's here. How's it going?
Dopey was wearing a slouch hat before anyone was wearing slouch hats.
It's true. It's true. It was a thing. Let me see. I am. I'm glad you like the pins. Hey, Zach Martinez, how's it going? So, anyway, lots of big changes here at the TrickyBricks studio. New mic, new lights, RLFM status, and on Monday we spoke to our buddy Chris Chalice, who is here. He of many names, Chris Chalice. He of many middle names, Chris Chalice.
The aforementioned secret isn't much of a secret.
So we spoke to his Cub Scout group, and we are now honorary members of their troop, which is so exciting.
2 Cub Scout troops there together.
There were 2 Cub Scout troops together. I feel so proud. Like that and RLFM in the same week. It was just like...
It was pretty cool.
Great.
Well, we're honorary Cub Scouts
Hey,
now.
Echo Bricks, how's it going? And so, what was great, and the joke in Chris's name is, okay, so you know that everybody always asks us what our favorite Lego set is. It's a pretty common question that we get all the time, and so we're always prepared, right? Ninjago City, Disney Castle. Well, they were going around, and all the kids were asking questions. And I'm going to embarrass myself by doing a really terrible British accent, but you kind of have to hear it in the voice. They were adorable little moppets. Like, they were so cute. And the first one says, what's your favorite Lego set? And we said what our favorite one. A couple questions later, somebody says, what's your favorite Lego set? Again, same question. And we're like, well, we talked about that, but here's another one that I like. And then, about
a couple questions later,
about 5 minutes goes by. And this little kid, they call his name and he unpauses himself and says, well, what's your third favorite Lego set ever?
It was awesome, and we figured out our third favorite Lego set.
It was so cute. It was so cute. I was dying from that. It was just adorable. Of course, for us. But not so much on them. They were listening to our weird accents, and we were just like, "Oh, you guys are so cute!"
And they were so nice. They didn't make fun of us, and they shared their builds with us. They all built the Boy Scout logo.
Yeah, so that was really fun, and we've also got hopefully some other things coming up along those lines as well. So we're really, really happy about that. So, gosh, what else? So I wanted to give a big shout out, thank you, to Bricks O'Brien, Jake Studs, and to April, who really kind of like shepherded me into the whole Twitch thing, and shepherded me into the lights and the microphone working, even up to like 20 minutes ago when I was having problems, and I was like, "Oh my God, Brian, what's going on?" I'm sure he's probably so tired of me messaging him on Discord. I'm sure he's just gonna mute me soon. He's like, "I can't even deal with this guy anymore."
You could offer free ukulele classes to Twitch streamers.
I will. But that's
been such a huge help, and despite the fact that I have a lot of background in lighting, USB lighting controlled by USB button sets and integrated with mics and all that is brand new to me.
It's a whole thing, right?
We appreciate all the technical advice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also wanted to thank April for inviting me to join the Twitch raid stream train, because I felt so supported, and so like Jake Studs went before me, and he really helped with the setup of the microphone, and got to go on directly after him, and then after me was Supercomputer, which was fantastic. And then we got to see April and Dan from Between the Bricks, and I am Billsy, and it was just and then I stopped over. It was like a whole Twitch day yesterday. I stopped over.
I know, I heard it right next to my office. There was lots of laughter. And the Hornburgers point out April B and Bricks O'Brien are such great ambassadors for creators. Kindness is their superpower, and
absolutely
I gotta agree with that.
Absolutely true. So we were so happy. So we had April on Sunday, and then we are going to have this Sunday, on this Sunday's show, or actually let me start with Friday. Friday, we are going to be showing the 2-week builds, the minifigure scene that everybody's making. Make a scene for your favorite minifigure. That's Friday's slideshow, and those are due tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Don't forget, tomorrow at 5. And then we sort of made an announcement that every other Friday, when we're not doing a slideshow, I think we're going to start doing sort of, work in progress, mock critiques, if you want to call it. So if you have a mock that you're working on and you want some feedback, you want feedback on it, constructive, friendly feedback on it, you'll be able to send it in, and we'll be discussing those on every other Friday show.
It's not required. You don't have to, but if you want, that's something we haven't. We spend a lot more time celebrating the awesome things about people's pieces than saying, hey, if you put this brick maybe over there, it might do this thing.
Right. So hopefully you are, people want to participate in that and send some stuff in. I think they probably will.
I do.
So
I'll participate.
Hey, Brick Enforcer, how's it going? So then this Sunday, we will see the return of Kevin and Brenda. That's I'm Bored Toys and Art Ingest. And if you remember them from when they were on a couple of weeks ago, they are a powerhouse.
I won't call them the odd couple because they're not odd, but they're very complimentary. They are not the same person, those two.
Exactly. And Dinosaur 1994, how's it going? Good to see you. So we will be having them back again on Sunday. Then, next Wednesday, everybody, we are going to be having Ben Alder, who was the fan designer of the Winnie the Pooh set, is going to be here talking to us. And I have to say, we get a lot of, we get a lot of emails from people saying, Oh gosh, I lost my train of thought.
We're talking about Ben Alder.
Yes, we're talking about Ben. I had contacted Ben a while back and said, would you like to come on to the show? And he was like, I'm really camera shy. I don't think I would want to do that, but if you want to send me some questions, I'll be happy to answer them for you. Well, he came by the show this last Sunday and hung out for a while and had such a good time that he reached out to me and said, you know what, actually, I think I really would like to come on. Everybody was so friendly and kind in your stream, and I think I would feel comfortable coming on. So next Wednesday, we will be having Ben on to talk a little bit about the designing of his LEGO idea set.
I have no idea what he's going to say because I haven't seen a lot of interviews with Ben.
Well, I did, and
any.
Well, and I also think that it was so. What was really cool about that is, like I said, well, I know what I was trying to say. We do get emails saying how much people enjoy the show and how comfortable they feel, and we're so grateful for that and so glad that we can make people feel comfortable. So to have him say that, his seeing what our crowd was like made him feel comfortable enough to want to be on camera.
Hey, you did
that. So thank you for all that. So very cool. Hooray! Cool shows coming up. And even more fun, exciting things in the future. So yeah, positivity, right? Positive vibes.
A friend of mine used to, a Canadian friend of mine who is more sarcastic than most Canadian friends I have, used to say that I should have been Canadian because my philosophy was if everyone and everything was nice, wouldn't that just be nice? And I didn't take it as an insult. I was like, yes, exactly. It would be nice. This is a nice place around here.
Oh my goodness. So we need to pick up a copy of the Winnie the Pooh set, and I'm afraid we're not going to get one.
That's not easy right now, right?
I know. I'm afraid we're not going to get one before he shows up, and I'm going to be mortified. So, and it's too. I got inducted into the land too late to request it as a thing. So, that's not going to happen. But so, crossing fingers that we may be able to get our hands on one this weekend.
We're shopping far and wide.
We'll see what happens.
So we have a lot actually to say about modulars.
We do.
And my time is somewhat limited today, so we can dig right in.
Well, and before that though, and it's going to be it's a couple minutes early. I get it, but we're going to do that.
Two features because I prepared this one as well.
Okay. Well, let's do that one first.
Okay.
So here we go.
It's
Sticker Set Show and Tell. And how about that fancy new, sliding, and we got an iris in there, we're some kind of fancy, people or something. All right, here we go. You ready?
Media. So, this is from set 10232, Modular Buildings Palace Cinema. It's from 2013. It had 6 minifigures and 2,170 parts. And we put this together.
We did.
We did not put the stickers on, right?
No, because
but we have movie posters.
We do. I got some third-party movie posters to hang because they were classic films. There's a Wizard of Oz one and a King Kong one, but this is actually a really great. I love the
mystery of the monorail.
Yeah, I really do enjoy these stickers. I think they're great. They just weren't I really wanted a more classic look or feeling for ours, so that's why I went with that. But yep, pretty cool. Love those stickers.
We're going to have lots of reason today to mention Brickmaster Jamie.
That's right. And so since we started late, we're going to go up with our other feature a couple minutes early. That's right, everybody. It's Logan cookie time.
He raced
Whoa,
me back to the table.
He did. It's Logan earthquake time.
Look, you're so
Hooray!
excited.
Woohoo!
He likes cookies. Say hi to everyone.
Hey, Brickworm. Good to see ya. Congrats on that vaccine.
Wagging his tail. Okay, can you catch this? Good boy.
Yay! Woohoo!
I like that you do puppet paws with them.
Woohoo! He's like keyboard cat.
He says, okay, you can have another little piece. Can you stay? Boop. There.
Yay! Logan cookie time, everybody.
Good boy.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so the music was lower? I'm not quite sure what to do about that. I'll look at it later. I don't have enough tech stuff today.
Moving parts. Lots of moving parts.
There are lots and lots of moving parts. Okay, everybody. So now it's time to finally get to our subject at hand. Now that we've been over like the all of the many bits of Lego news that we had to talk about today.
Look at that. I'm going to do a major graphic right here. Look, graphic is...
What is that?
Modular buildings, building chat, history of modular buildings.
All right, so I think we will go over to the slide. Classy. We'll go over to the slideshow like that.
Whoa!
I'm sorry.
Floated right over there.
I'm sorry. I love that so much. I don't mean to make a big deal out of it, but that makes me so happy. Like, I love our fades, but this just seems, I don't know, it seems fancy.
Little slide.
And professional.
It's the electric slide.
Okay. Let's see.
All right. Well, I'm gonna. So there's gonna be some reading here and some looking at the slides.
Yeah. So glasses on.
I can tell you that the LEGO modular buildings started with a poll of the AFOL community in 2006, and they said, AFOL community, what do you want to see? What do you want to see us build? And what they came up with was more town and everyday buildings. They wanted structures with more architectural detail, realistic buildings, minifigure scale buildings, solid and enclosed buildings, and this is what happened.
And this is what happened.
Yeah, exactly. And they continue to engage with AFOLs for feedback through the design process of the cafe corner.
Right. So
we're looking at the cafe corner right now, right? Number
That's
one?
correct. Yes. So this is this was the cafe corner. Now wait, is it? I think so.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't have. Can you bring up your little list there?
Yeah, I think I may have gotten the wrong one. So
well, I can tell you what all modular buildings have in common.
No, this is cafe corner. This is right.
So
I got it right.
Woo! All the modular buildings you might recognize have a light gray tiled curb, one stud in width. There's like 6 things.
So this is what makes it. No, I just wanted to say, this is what makes it a modular. So tell us what exactly makes a building a modular building in Lego.
Well, like with micro scale buildings, there's a form, right? You have to have these certain things for it to be a modular. At least in the official line. A light gray tiled curb, one stud in width, dark gray tiled sidewalk, metallic gray grill elements acting as storm drains, a white fluted lamppost with a translucent clear minifig head.
You know we love
topped with a white 2x2 dish. They all have that lamppost. And the buildings are 7 studs away from the front edge of their base plates, and the buildings all go edge to edge with 1x2 Technic bricks that allow you to pop them together.
So each one has those Technic bricks in exactly the same place, so that you can do them together. Now, they've done a bunch of front-facing buildings and several corner buildings, and
5,
this one,
I think there's 5 of them.
5 corners.
Then there's a difference in the modularity. I didn't mean to step on you.
No, go ahead.
Difference in the modular function between the corner buildings and the regular ones. The regular buildings have buildings that are flush on one side, so the buildings can go right up next to one another. And then the corner buildings have 2 perpendicular faces that the buildings mush right up against it because they want that even city street.
Yeah. So this was the first one. This one is now, of course, like crazy money on the second, the secondary market.
Yep.
But I also know that a lot of people have, because a lot of these didn't have like super unique parts. You can actually kind of rebuild these. Now there are some.
Well, they got more unique later in the line, like with the Parisian Cafe, with the white croissants. They started using a lot more specialty pieces in the sort of second phase.
Right, and I also know that in the Green Grocer, there were 1x2 sand green bricks with a groove in them, like they do for the garage doors, and those are actually really hard to get a hold of, and is usually the one piece that holds people up from being able to build their own. So.
I think the second one, after the cafe corner, was the Market Street, and that one is unlike all of the other ones in that it was actually built by a fan designer as part of LEGO Factory.
And do we have his name?
Yeah, it was, he's a Dutch LEGO fan, Eric Brock. While it's different than a lot of the other modulars, and it was released under the factory theme, LEGO definitely includes this as part of the modular series. And AFOLs there's been controversy. Is it part of it? Is it not part of it?
Well, this is very European and definitely has a very like fan design feeling about it.
Well, all the greebling on it, the robot arm balconies. I love the black bit above the arch, the sort of wrought iron, with the whips.
Right.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I love that. There's parts of this I really like, and it is very Dutch. The building itself, right? Like it's got the styling of it is very Dutch style.
Well, that narrow, those staircases are those kind of staircases where I bet Hooded One knows this, where you can't actually walk down with your feet like this. You have to put your feet sideways because the steps are so narrow.
Well, and then I just wanted to talk for a second about I just wanted to talk for a second about LEGO Factory, which was like the precursor to LEGO Ideas, even before Kuso, right?
Yeah, check it out.
Here we go. I've got a little paragraph. I can tell you all about it.
It was originally called Do It Yourself.
Yeah, Design It Yourself vision of LEGO Factory was a service connected with the construction tool.
I got that wrong.
So what happened is people could do their Design by Me.
It's actually called, it's a do-it-yourself aesthetic, but the program was called Design by Me.
So technically what you could do is you could design a building, and this is where LDD came into it, is that correct?
I don't know if they got LDD already sort of partway built from someone else and integrated it, but as part of LEGO Factory, they did LDD. And what would people do with LDD?
So with LDD, you could build your own building. You could send the design to LEGO, and you could also design a box for it, and they would make it for you and send it to you. So it was basically like you could make your own thing and have them print it, not make it for you. Now
and
it
wasn't a little pricey.
It was pricey, and it wasn't like your piece was going to end up on store shelves. It was just
No, but some of the fan designs ended up getting made by LEGO and sold as sets through LEGO Factory, and this is one of them.
Right.
Not many, but some of them, and it's actually we feel like this was the start of LEGO Ideas.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was like early concept LEGO Ideas. All right, and
we got 16. I think in the main line there were like 16 of these.
Now this was
not in factory, but
5. It looks like 2005.
2005.
All right, so then it would be
3 years.
3 years.
Yep.
Before we would get another modular building, and we should mention that first modular building wasn't it designed by Master Jamie?
Jamie Berard. Yeah, Jamie Berard was the head of a design team for
and still is, I
for
believe.
Market Street, and he's followed it all along. I don't know. I think he was one of the major designers of these sets, but he also worked with a team. Oversaw that team. And so we have the Green Grocer next, which is one of the simpler. Well, it has a simpler interior, right? They weren't really doing interiors yet.
Right. And I apologize, this isn't like the greatest photo, but we do what we can. And thank you, by the way, Brickset, for the photos.
Yeah, and something I really noticed looking at all of the modulars together is that they had a very constrained color palette in the modular itself, but then they would always do a color pop with the awning or with flowers. There's always some contrasting saturated color.
Yeah, and this is a great combination of sand green, and you can see there in between the two windows, you can see where those green, sand green bricks with the two grooves in them are happening, right?
I read a thing, a quote from Jamie from an interview saying that he kind of punts on the names of some of the architectural details, and that his other designers know what he's talking about, but he was very, despite the fact that he's an amazing designer of architecture, he was very demure about his knowledge of official architecture. I think he was just being shy, because it's clear he understands dormers, cornices, wrought iron. Like, his materials are amazing.
So now you want to know something. This is how little that I knew about Lego and pieces, right? So those 1x2 sand bricks with the groove in them, are crazy expensive, right? Like,
Yeah,
really,
they're
really
used for
expensive.
garage doors initially, right?
Right, but
not in that color.
But in that color, they were like exclusive to this. Now, when we got our very first thing of Lego, I divided all the pieces out, and I kept finding these sand green pieces with grooves in them, and I was building my Alice in Wonderland mock, and I was making the stripedy wallpaper, the sand green, and I was like, I don't have enough. Oh, I guess I'm just going to have to use these ones with the groove in them and turn them around backwards. So that Alice in Wonderland mock has got about 10 of those.
Nice.
And so if we ever need to retire, I guess I'll just sell those. But yeah.
Holly points out that the police station is not necessarily the most colorful of all of the. It's kind of an official building. It's not going to be as colorful as the diner, but we'll get to the diner
we'll get
later.
to that. So another interesting thing about this particular one is that it was the first to be listed as 16 or older.
Yeah, the others were 10 and older.
The others were 10 and up. So that has and I believe is it 18 plus now, or is it still 16 plus? I am failing.
I don't know that.
Remembering that.
I thought the creator experts were 16 plus. Does someone in the chat know about that?
So it looks like to me that what this was then the start of them coming out with yearly modulars. So we saw the Cafe Corner, then we had the Fan Design Market Street, a break of 3 years.
And Jamie points out that he and Lego are working on other product lines at the same time. So while he was working on architecture and other lines, it works out to about one a year. And lots of people are like, I want more modulars. But he also said they've offered such variety in the line that they want to keep it fresh. So if they were doing 2 or 3 of them a year, it would be hard to keep them distinct and the line fresh.
Right. Well, so here's the Fire Brigade. This one came
controversial
out in 2009. Is it?
It was controversial.
Oh, really? I know why.
Well, it was controversial for a couple of reasons, and Jamie actually comments on this. It was the most American looking of them so far, and it was so iconically American that some worldwide and American AFOLs thought this doesn't fit with the rest of the product line. But Jamie's thought. I think I have a quote from him. He points out that the Brick Architect. In Brick Architect, thanks for the quote, that this was not well received. People felt it was too American, not as European. I do think there's a lot of valuable feedback, he says, but you need to filter it. They should just go back to, people say they should just go back to doing the exteriors, there's too much interiors, too much storytelling. And his response is, he says, we're getting better at saying, quote, we appreciate this is not your favorite, but we hope that you'll still discover some fun surprises when you build it.
What a great answer.
And this is really the start where they're building stories into the modulars, and they do more and more and more of that as it goes along.
And so now this one was notable because it was the first one that came with a vehicle, which would end up being something that they've carried through a lot of them, not all of them. So yeah, it is very American.
And it's a sizable vehicle too. The vehicles in the modulars tend to be larger than some of the.
Can we just say that flag is kind of terrible?
Well, well, in the interview I read, he agreed that they could have done a little better with the flag.
Yeah, I could have done better with the flag. I don't know what to tell you about the ticking, everybody. I don't.
There's ticking?
He's wearing an Apple Watch, so it's definitely not on our end.
Yep. Well, we've got a sensitive mic. It might be the gears in my brain.
Well.
Oh, and there's new building He says the funny thing about the fire brigade is it's one of the buildings that brought in the most new people of all of the buildings so far. They saw an explosion in the popularity of the modular line. And there were new building techniques, including creating numbers built into the structure using standard Lego bricks.
Yes, and creating that tiled lettering, like done with sideways built lettering. And if you would like to know more about that, you can check out our show from last Wednesday. I believe it was last Wednesday. Was it already that long ago? It was last Wednesday with Lee, who came and did a fantastic show with us about Lego lettering. So definitely check that out.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about the ticking, folks. It's a thing that happens every once in a while, and it is not on our end 100%. So
I'm listening.
Please email YouTube and tell them to stop putting ticking into our stream. All right.
Well, the next one is the Grand Emporium, and that was from March 2010, and it was the second corner building.
Ooh,
it also has a really interesting pop color sign.
Mm-hmm.
I like the awnings in this one, and you can see they have better flags this time around.
Yeah, so they went with flags, and they also I'm seeing starting to bring some story elements into things. Like we've got the window washer outside, right? We've got the people with the little trolley out in the front.
And you'll notice they all have generic faces. They all have the smiley faces still.
Yeah, so that is something that will change eventually, right?
Yep, well, they're always adding more and more story. After that, we had the Pet Shop, number 10218. That was from...
Yes?
In the Pet Shop?
Sorry, I'm sorry.
I know you're troubleshooting at the
once.
same time. Well, I can say about the Grand Emporium that it includes an ice cream stand, store display windows, a window washer platform, you can see him hanging up there, and opening doors and windows. That was new as well. And you can see some of the interior here with the escalator.
Oh,
so they're
very
getting
good.
more involved with the interiors. It's still, base plate in there. You're seeing a lot of studs, but I think that makes it easier to put the furniture on and less fiddly tiling inside.
Well, and now we're also seeing brick built letters, so not the sideways built ones like we saw. We saw the brick built using the clip method that Lee showed us about on that show.
On a curve.
Yeah. So I love the way that looks, and they've gotten creative with the tiling on the sidewalk, like lots of more, more details.
And you can see in this one that the regular, like the one stud wide curb with the storm drains and sidewalk, you can see pretty clearly in this down shot. And I think those green awnings were new. I haven't seen that piece before.
Yeah, I haven't either. All right. You're talking about the dome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
The Pet Shop. I love this one.
Now, this was the one, for us, this is like kind of one of the ones that got away. Like, I really, really wanted this, and it was just kind of going out as we were coming in.
Yep.
So this, well, no, actually, no, because this is 2011, so that was still, way off from us.
That was before our time. One of the notable things about this one is they tried to do smaller buildings. They said, Jamie's team, we're going to try smaller buildings in this, and it just didn't fly. It didn't feel like it fit the modular line. So what they did was make two smaller buildings that were modular and could go right next to one another. So you could actually, I think, you can take this apart and rearrange your city so that they're not even together if you wanted. But they sold it as a single set.
Right. So, and then like the bookshop does the same thing, right? Like two separate buildings that you could divide up. Now, so what's interesting about this was, and yes, so Mairead and Holly are both pointing out, this was on the shelves for a long time.
Oh, really?
Usually they retire, pretty, a couple of years after they come out, but there were, this particular one was around forever.
Joel Marbella owns 3 of
Well,
these.
you don't have to brag, Joel. No. Don't be mean. I'm kidding. This was, this one has Oh, it says, I wonder if there's some info about which modulars have lasted the longest. I'm not sure, but this one definitely did, because I remember seeing this on the shelf when we bought our first modular, which was the Palace Cinema.
That was the first one we got?
No, sorry, it was the... no, our first modular,
What's that one?
I apologize, was the detective agency.
Yes.
Then the Palace Cinema, then the Parisian Restaurant.
Right.
That was kind of like our little order.
And you can see in this one the double plate striping where the different stories come apart.
Yeah. Yeah, and and that was the thing about these, right? Like they are enclosed buildings, and the floors lift off.
Like a sort of like layers of a wedding cake, not open
Exactly.
like a dollhouse.
Which, you know, I love the dollhouse presentation personally, but that's just me. We see a return to the lettering with the sideways built lettering there.
And again, it gives it that more saturated pop of color. I think it contrasts with the building next door really nicely. And you notice what they did too. They made a bay window and put those sort of the quarter round egg shapes on the bottom of it, but they fixed the top of the bay window by putting a deep cornice on the building. So it's always that, like, how do you make a roof over the bay window? Well,
Right.
that was their solution. And
I mean, it had a full interior, right? It says with a toilet, bed, kitchen, and fireplace.
and Jamie actually talked about this one too.
Yeah, we talked about that. You mentioned that.
Really? Okay.
So, shall we, okay, next one.
We're going to kind of breeze through a little bit the Town Hall and Palace Cinema.
We are? Okay.
I love the Town Hall. This, to me, again, this doesn't feel very European. This feels pretty American. I think it would fit well with the
fire brigade.
With the fire brigade, but I don't like to think of it as American versus European. It feels like all of these colorful buildings really fit together on the same street to me.
Yeah, this one is really cool, and there's actually...
And that clock face.
The clock face is really great. Now, one of the things that I like about this is the date. Now, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see this in your notes, so I'm going to tell you something that I read.
Uh-oh, what did you
about
read, Flynn?
about the date on there. 1891 is actually the founder of Lego's birth year.
Oh, really?
And then when read backwards, it's the birth year of the set's designer.
1981.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome. Easter eggs.
How about that? Yeah, Easter eggs.
I love the way they've interpreted minifigure scale here. Like, if you put a minifigure in some of these rooms, like, they're pretty big in the room, but they did have a minimum room size. Like, the bathrooms could be very tiny, but most of the other rooms had to be navigable by minifigures.
Joel, this was not designed by Jamie. This particular one was not designed by Jamie, and I can't remember the name. My apologies. I was Richard did most of the note taking. I did all the images and stuff. So I just know that I read that around.
I did not get a list of all of the designers for them. I know Jamie has been involved throughout the line.
Well, he's like the head of the team. He's like the manager, right?
And he has his hands right in there too.
Well, and then this is I think too. Older sets are harder to find who the actual designers are.
Well, they were less. I think at LEGO they must have been stars, but in the wider AFOL community, it hasn't always been the case that the designers were superstars. Like they're much more. People are very interested in finding out how they did it, what their process was, and learning things about them. And we're lucky we've gotten to meet some of them here.
Absolutely. All right, so that is our town hall. Moving forward in time.
I've always thought that it must have been very odd for Amy and Jamie, going from their design table and the bricks and the pencils and all of that to being on television and having a bunch of people excited about them as people as
designers. Yeah, star designers.
To have that notoriety and then go back to working on Friends and Dots and architecture.
Very good.
As well. So,
all right, here we go.
I know this was one of Jamie's favorite sets to work on.
I bet it's got fantastic architecture. Obviously, it has some touches from Grauman's Chinese in LA.
That use of the tridents for the points up on the roof, I think, is really cool. The sign is the standout for me.
Now, this was the
palace sign.
Yeah, that was another great example of lettering, like really clever lettering.
And this was a big set too.
It was big. And so now this one was the third that they'd made that was a corner building. So the third corner-facing building.
I actually jumped ahead. This while he doesn't have anything against it, this was not it. It's the next one, the Parisian restaurant that Jamie was so excited about building. But this was one of the biggest sets we had when we got it, right?
Yes, and so this was also the first one to be labeled LEGO Creator Expert. Right.
Oh, really?
This one had that little, the little logo and the Creator Expert branding on it, and it was also, for better or worse, the first modular to include stickers.
Oh, and they went for it.
That's why we saw the windows and all that stuff. Those were all
sort of
printed.
A foreshadowing of Ninjago.
I love this one. I will say that I was a little. I would have liked the interior of the lower floor to be a little bit more interesting.
Well, you're not the only one, and they responded to that too.
Right. Well, actually, now kind of rolling back a little ways, I believe that part of the design it yourself thing was they actually gave AFOLs an opportunity to design interiors for the older buildings, and then you could either build it yourself, or I'm not sure if instructions were available or whatever, but they kind of left that up to you.
Well, AFOL engagement has been big, in the whole line. I just love that they reached out, like, what do you think?
Yeah, and so they've slowly been adding interiors, and it's not until we get to the next one that they really go 100% into interiors.
Yeah, and I think maybe that Jamie was not heavily involved in this one. Don't quote me on it, but because he talks about the Parisian restaurant being 2 years that he had been out of it, and that would have been worked on the town hall in 2012. 2013 was the Palace Cinema, and then the Parisian restaurant isn't until 2014.
Got it. So next, now this was one that we got. This was our third one, I think, that we ended up getting. The Parisian restaurant.
And this feels minier, right? I mean, it's still on the 32 by 32 base plate, but, with the exterior terrace and all, the building is a lot more compact, I think.
Well, and not only that, but it's got, it has like a whole back patio area where there's tables and chairs. Mm-hmm. It's got this amazing curved roof. Right.
Yeah. With that crazy roof treatment.
Treatment, which is amazing. And not only is it a cool curved roof, but it actually opens in the back. Mm-hmm. The roof opens, and there's a little apartment in there. And I think, right. So here is the fully realized.
That's the ground floor.
Ground floor of the restaurant, and you can see that they've gone all out on the interior. There is there's a full kitchen in there. There's people sitting at a table. You've got outside seating in the front and the back.
Jamie, when we were on LEGO Masters, Jamie talked with us about interesting floor plans and the importance of making an interesting floor plan, and I think this is a perfect example. Like, that is not a box.
Holly says, I know a lot of people that became AFOLs starting with the Parisian restaurant. Absolutely. Bye, Mairead. We'll see you later. And Wilfred points out that olive green is not Paris, but the roof is good. And he also says that that the blue dumpster isn't a thing. Well,
maybe a Vespa though.
I think it's more the style. I don't think they're claiming this is a restaurant in Paris, but more just like a Parisian style.
It's a Parisian restaurant in Toledo.
Yes.
No, I think it has the flavor, and I appreciate, a comparison with actual Parisian buildings.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, the dumpster isn't really, but there is a rat, which I love.
Oh, the patio has a design with the word "chez" in it. I didn't notice that.
I don't know if I remembered that from building it.
It's noted as subtle. So Jamie talks about this one. He says, I think that's the one I enjoyed working on the most. That was because I'd come off of 2 years not doing a modular building. To have a break of 2 years from something I enjoyed doing and returning was the best mini vacation ever. I was just sparking with ideas. I was able to tell so many personal stories about my family and growing up with my mom and dad having the restaurant, my brother getting engaged to his wife. It just felt like there were so many fun things that I wanted to include, and it was just fresh for me. I look back and say that was the one I enjoyed the most.
That's awesome.
And they're really just heavily involved with stories by this point.
Right, and so it had this here, and then on the very top floor, the little that rounded roof I was telling you about pops open, and there's
like
a little
right?
artist studio in it, and it's so cute.
And there's
a little Mondrian painting. It's really fun.
And I can see right there Patricia Mondrian right there in the studio.
But it was I really that was one of my favorite parts of this modular. Actually, was that little studio. That little
what a nice little surprise, right? Rather than just having an empty space in the model.
Yeah,
and it's still minifig scale.
What part does the rat play in the story? It's there for the dumpster, I guess.
Well, it is a restaurant.
It's a pre-Ratatouille. Maybe it was prescient. Who knows? I don't know when Ratatouille came out.
Rata-onesie. All right.
I'm sorry
about that. Well, they took storytelling even to the next level in the next modular.
Oh,
this is
is that my cue? Oh no.
Which one here? We're looking.
This is Assembly Square, but I think maybe it got out of order.
Yeah, we're looking for the
detective agency. Here we go. The detective agency.
So again, 2 buildings next to one another, well, there was we actually thought this was pretty funny when we put it together. What was the story involved with it?
So there's this whole illegal cookie smuggling thing that's going on
with a play function with secret trapdoors.
There's a secret door. There's a bush that moves aside and a secret door. And what I loved personally, and the reason that I wanted this, and I would end up mimicking this in one of my most recent mocks. The barbershop had mannequin heads in the window with wigs on or hair, it was supposed to be haircuts on, and I thought that was so great. So yeah, this is the detective agency, Alex,
and we still have the smiley faced faces.
Yep, we still have smiley faced faces. We have some the pool. So on the lower left there on the bottom is actually a pool hall with a full pool table, and I remember building that and thinking I can't believe how detailed and awesome this is. This was the thing that made me love the detailing of modulars, and I could definitely tell the difference between the Palace Cinema and this one in the level of detail inside.
Yep. I mean, it's not as big a model, but they just packed it with detail. And I think they pay so much attention to the color palette. They used, on Al's Barbershop building, they used 2 of the 4,000 blues offered by LEGO. And I think they go together really nicely.
And bricks, we see a lot of the brick covered bricks on the left building, and then they used and then they did the pool hall sign was a style that they'd never done before. It was new for this particular one, and it's all done with tiles.
Yeah, and those tiles with the hole in it, the pinhole in it, that are irreplaceable if you're doing Technic.
Absolutely.
I also like that they broke up the light blue of the upper building above the barber shop with additional white plate stripes.
Yeah. They
and you can see behind the scenes on the sides of the buildings, because they're designed to go together, that you can see they have off-color bricks on the side,
right?
Where there's clips or snot pieces on the inside.
Very cool. Yeah, well, I mean, because they're going to be pressed together, right? So you're not going to see that. It's ostensibly not going to see that part. So, all right. And this was the. Wow, why is everything out of order?
This is
there
the
we
brick
go.
bank, right?
All right. Yes, this is the brick bank.
All right. Jamie talks about storytelling with the brick bank as well. I'm gonna quote a little bit here. He says, "We actually had a lot." I thought this was very interesting about the minifigure faces. "We actually had a lot of fun in the early days, especially with the ambiguity you can create with a neutral face and a stocky torso. And even with the move to expressive faces, we want to make sure we're representing a broad arrangement of people. Life is diverse, and it is fun that we can go after some unique, quirky characters like the boxer with his flamboyant hair, a strong guy with poofy hair who walks by a mirror and is like, 'Hey, beautiful.'" So they're really, really trying, even before they have the expressive faces, to tell stories and be inclusive in the modular buildings. And so I think that's a pretty admirable way to approach creating a city.
Do you want some more coffee?
Do I want coffee? No, I'm good for right now.
Okay.
But then it took them, it made them think, how can we tell even more stories with it? There's a play function in the brick bank. There's 4 laundry machines, one of which contains a play feature for laundering money. You place Lego money bills or coin elements through this machine, it'll fall into a special deposit box inside the bank's vault.
And then it also had, because it had the laundromat right there on the corner.
It's play functions for grown-ups.
And I love, you can see in this particular picture, like the giant vault door, like what's supposed to be the big round vault door. I thought this was really cool. Very cool. Yeah, money laundering, cookie laundering.
There's a secretary's office, and the detailed facade, above the entrance, I think, was a highlight of this one.
Very cool. All right. Now we're going to one.
Bank.
This is one that I personally covet.
Okay, this one here, I think it's fair to say this was a highlight in the modular series. Assembly Square.
So this was done to celebrate 10 years of modular buildings. And it was the one with the most amount of pieces so far, 4,002.
A bunch of them.
And 9 minifigures.
And get this is super exciting.
All right, everybody, hold on to your hats. This was the first modular to include a baby. We know how much Tricky Lug loves babies. This was the first modular to include a baby.
And where is it here? Oh, and the baby figure originally had white eyes and was very hard to make out the character of it. So they actually made the baby have a smiley face like the rest of the smiley faces in the character, and that's how the baby got the smiley face, is so you can see its character.
Well, and didn't you say though that at one point they tried doing a more charactery, like
didn't work out.
And it didn't work out.
Well, for some reason the eyes were white in that version.
Yeah, I don't know about that. So now, does this one? I can't see close enough, but does this one still have the smiley faces on all of our figures?
I'm seeing smiley faces.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now, what was cool about this one was, excuse me. It included a lot of callbacks architecturally and in color to the past buildings.
And in building techniques as well. They definitely deliberately included Easter eggs.
So this is Assembly Square, Patty. This one's called Assembly Square. And you can see that it has the cafe corner, like the little sort of like fan decoration on the front.
The pretzel decoration, remember there's the printed pretzel decoration. Is that on the Parisian? I don't remember which one it has. There's one that has an interwoven pretzel design.
They used garage door, the clear garage door pieces as a curved window for the bakery, and a lot of the
sideways built.
Yeah, a lot of the stories in here were interconnected, right? So there was like a florist, a bakery where there's like a wedding cake in the window.
There's a dentist above the bakery shop, and that was actually funny. That was a development of the story that happened in it. Jamie says, so for something like that, we said, wouldn't it be fun to have a dentist above a candy shop? So that was their pitch. It was supposed to be a candy shop on the ground floor. For the irony. But it ended up the candy shop evolved into a bakery with sweet-type pastries instead of breads. And then they started filling in the blanks. The boxer needs to go downstairs to eat and get powered up for the gym, and the singer shows up, so they put all this music downstairs. The singer shows up like in a 50s film where the guy just comes in and they start doing this dance thing.
And then there's a ballerina, there's like a little ballet studio and a photography studio, and this has just got so much. It is rich.
So they really think about how the minifigures in this part of the city might interact, even, before you get it and make your own stories.
And now, if you look at the center building at the roof, it's got that curved roof again, kind of like recalling the Parisian restaurant a little bit. But those black pieces are actually the scoops from dump trucks.
Oh, like the underside of it.
Yeah, so you're seeing the back of it. It's like turned in that way. I just think that's just fantastic.
I love that the middle building is recessed. I think it's just, again, such an interesting floor plan.
Yeah, it's really. Oh yeah, and Albert says the couple getting engaged in the Parisian restaurant can come here for the flowers and wedding cake. It's true, and then they can go over to the town hall to get married. So there you go. It's all connected. It's all connected. All right, so let us...
big controversy coming up. No!
The diner. So big controversy?
Big controversy. People were scandalized that they used, quote, Friends colors in the diner.
Come on. Oh.
And said that it didn't belong with the rest of them, but Jamie actually he talks about that too. But why don't you give us some facts about the diner?
Okay, so this was from 2018. Done in sort of an Art Deco style, and a big pink diner sign, and it reintroduced teal as a color. LEGO calls it bright bluish green, and it hadn't been in production since 2008, so they brought it back 10 years later to use in the diner.
Well, and there was actually, I understand, some back and forth because Elves was very interested in that color as well.
Oh.
And, they want to keep the lines distinct.
Well, they did end up using teal in the later Elves sets.
Yeah, so now that it showed up, you don't see it a lot in the rest of the modulars, but now that it's back, you see it in Elves. They lobbied for that.
Well, I love the curved corner window that has curves on either side.
That's my favorite part of it.
It is really, really good.
And weren't you inspired by this diner somewhat? I mean, you didn't copy the design, but you were somewhat inspired for the 50s design. 50s diner in our California Dreamin'.
Yeah, I did. And then also I love the kind of the piece on the top that's sort of reminiscent of an old jukebox. Yeah. Right? It gives you that Wurlitzer feeling.
This would look great lit up too.
Yeah, I think it would be really, really good. And I love and there's that boxer with like the oldie-timey hairstyle, which is very odd and funny at the same time. And then it came with the pink Cadillac. Right?
So Jamie talks about this some in saying, we worked quite hard to make sure the diner fit in with the rest of the street. It's almost like the tan building was there all along, and then this new diner opened up and wanted to make a splash. I've seen buildings like that. They literally wrap a building with a new hotness, but you still see the old brick building behind it.
Right.
Our thought is to keep it tied to older colors and styles, not like everything after this is going to be in crazy Friends colors. And he said, I shouldn't call them Friends colors.
No, you shouldn't.
It's not that we're taking a radically different direction. We just wanted to show that we can do something fresh and hopefully retain it. Yeah, well, and I think so. I think this was, like an exclamation point in the line. It just showed up.
Seriously, of all the things to complain about, you're going to complain that they used Friends colors in a diner?
Well, it wasn't an acrimonious debate, but people immediately were like,
yes, it was.
This doesn't go with the other ones.
It's just like, and I would argue that I think Friends has the most interesting colors of all of the, of all of the themes.
I imagine Brickmaster Amy walking by Jamie's desk and saying, couldn't you use a little more color in that? How about some more story?
Well, and then of course, everybody complained when the police station came out that it was too tan.
I know.
So it's like, make up your mind, people. It's either either too colorful or too tan. Just like,
well, he
pick
just
something.
had the perfect response when he's like, maybe this isn't your favorite thing, but maybe you'll have fun if you build it, you know?
Maybe you will.
Because they built in all the stuff.
Well, this is definitely, it's weird. Like,
Joel Marbella says Elvis is in the diner. I think.
Yeah, he is.
I think
Right
sitting
there.
right next to.
Right there, and he's got a little guitar. Sort of Elvis-style guy. He's probably the employee, because it's one of those restaurants where like the employees have to dress up like the 50s and then like sing a song.
Well, see, I thought it was like he's working as the fry cook and gets discovered.
Oh my goodness. This is
check out that pink convertible too.
Yeah, and the pink and pearl, and Holly's right. This is very, these are 50s colors. Those are the colors that they, those were very popular.
I agree.
Things. So there you go. Patrick Wismer says the build experience was 100%. It looks really cool. It is definitely another one that I wish that we would have gotten, but we also don't have room for lots of modulars. So.
Yeah, I know. Our shelf back there is filled up, and it's mostly other, mostly other sets.
But and here you can see a little bit of the interior of the top floor.
Gold record on the wall.
Yeah, gold record on the wall. Really cool. I think this is a great. I personally think it's a really cool model, and I'm glad that they kind of went outside their comfort zone with the aesthetic of this one. I have no problems with it at all.
And the pink shadow, the pink drop shadow behind the turquoise.
It's very clever.
Yeah, really nice.
All right.
Corner Garage
2019.
I gotta say, I've never seen this set. This is the first time I've ever seen an image of this set.
Really?
I thought I had seen all the modulars. I don't know. This one was completely off my radar. I think it's cool looking. I love the corner design.
I mean, it is a garage, and we're not really car people.
But this doesn't feel city either, right? This feels like a full-on modular. It's got all the hallmarks, the colorful sign, all of the, the sidewalks working together.
And now this is the 5th corner building that they've done, and they went with, again, a sort of more 50s style building to like the diner. I think this is beautiful. I love that dark orange.
And how about that tree too? Nice tree.
Yeah, it's got a great tree. I love the colors on that. It's really great, and it's got a like a repair place out on the bottom. And I'm sorry we don't have pictures of all the interiors of all of these, because they we don't have that one, because they were surprisingly hard to find that weren't parts of reviews that people had done, and I didn't, we tried not to use too many of people's other photos.
I'm a little confused here, because I thought...
Oh, and a vet, you're right, there's a vet here.
I thought that I had learned that the detailed faces came in before this in the product line, but the picture I'm seeing here has all smiley face. No, it's not. No, those are detailed faces. Isn't it the mustache guy with the glasses in the foreground?
Yeah, so this is, I believe...
These are detailed.
Yeah, these are highly detailed. And let me see, let's go back real quick to the diner, because the diner also has character faces. So let's go back one more, Assembly Square. So the diner would have been the, and let's do this.
Zoom into those faces.
Yep, they've got the character
detailed faces.
So the diner would have been the first modular to include more character-like faces. Right?
Pardon me. And I remember, actually, the first one, the Cafe Corner, didn't even have detailed torsos. They had a character with a fully white torso.
I know, just plain, right? So we're, now we're starting to see an evolution. Not only so they started off with the building and less on character, slowly started adding more character and story to them.
Parsley before.
Right. And then they started doing the interiors, and now we're seeing with this one fully realized interiors with new minifigure faces, not just the plain smile.
And also in many cases starting with the story and making the businesses that are involved in the modular fit the story rather than the other way around.
Interesting. All right. Well, there you go.
And then that was January 2019. Here's one of my favorites also, January 2020.
This is a goat. Absolutely a goat. greatest of all time, if you don't know what that means.
Thanks.
Really, I just said that for
I
him
was like,
because
gotta
I knew,
have
but
it.
I looked at you, so it didn't seem like I was like, hey.
He hears these things on the web, and then he puts them out there like I should have known this for 10 years. Which usually I should have. I'm like, have you seen Nom Nom Kitty? It's the latest.
This was like yesterday, guys. I'm just telling you. All right. So anyway, this is one of my very favorite modulars. We put this together recently.
Again, 2 buildings.
2 buildings, a split in the middle, with a very San Francisco style building on the right.
Yeah.
And then, and this was designed by our buddy Wes Talbot, who I am going to be requesting kindly that he come on and do our History of Elves show with us when we get to that.
That would be wonderful. I hope that happens.
Yeah, I do too. I really do. So this is a beautiful model. I had so much fun putting it together. It had really interesting steps and really, really great interior.
Oh yeah, they've got they have those curved steps on the building on the right, and I'm just trying to imagine what this would look like without that birch tree. I think it's a major design element that really helps the whole thing. I think it gives it a lot more feeling and nostalgia.
So Wes said that he was inspired by the houses of Amsterdam. I know for the birch books. Now the one next to it, though, when we interviewed him, he said that he definitely did have the Painted Ladies in mind when he was doing that other build, the blue building.
Yeah, with that Victorian bay window.
Right. And then he also said he was inspired by the doll houses that apparently his mother used to build. So I love that. Like anything with doll houses, I'm super like right there for
There's
it.
also really, really interesting with medium azure, really interesting dormer windows on that roof. I don't know why I was never into roofs so much before Lego. Right now I'm all like, what roof do they use on that?
Well, and then what's funny about this for me, because this has the Moby Brick book in it that everybody was like freaking out about, and I actually replaced all the books in there with the elves books that have like the skulls on the front of them and stuff. So it's like an occult bookstore. But this is really great, and I love the lettering on the sign. I think is really beautiful. This is absolutely one of my favorites.
And maybe the bookshop proprietor could be Bellatrix Lestrange.
And then you can see on the tree they use some newer foliage colors, and that they would then also use in the treehouse.
Well, right. I also really like. I mean, I don't think I'm just reading this in here. Those Technic pin joiners there that have the horizontal slots cut out give you a black and white detail on the trunk of the tree.
Oh, Wilfred says, did you put a cat in the bookshop? I did put a cat in the bookshop because every bookshop has to have a cat.
Like Ripley.
Like Ripley. Oh, R.I.P. Ripley.
We used to go to this sci-fi bookstore. What was it again?
Outside Land? No, that's the
Borderlands. Borderlands books. And they had this hairless cat in the window. He was always in the window, named Ripley.
Yes. Okay, bookshop, and moving forward in time. So here's some of the interior of the bookshop, which I thought was adorable. I love that there's a little tea set, and I feel like, and this is from New Elementary. Thank you, New Elementary. You can see here, in my opinion, the influence of the dollhouse. Like, this is a very, very dollhouse interior. It's really fantastic, and I just love all the little tiny details.
Well, I think the fireplace, for being so small, has really, really nice lines.
Yeah, it does.
And the little columns made with grills are cool. And we get cool art.
Yeah, the
tile on the wall.
Well, now we can replace that with a tile from, if you want to modernize it a little bit,
rock and rollers,
rock and roll tile from the video sets.
I think a unicorn is about to move into the bookshop.
Oh dear. All right. So here we are in January 2021, the police station.
And this one, Brick Fanatic did a review of all of the modulars. And I don't know much about this one before. I haven't really looked into the police station that much. But this was Brick Fanatic's second favorite modular, the first being the bookshop. And they're their reasons were because of the splat bushes in front, made of those
the little splat gears.
Yeah, the big green splats. Donut trays on an angle in the donut shop.
There they are.
Right there. Sideways built stairs, sideways built windows on the Lavender Donut Shop, and reverse jumper plate decorations above the entrance. They took jumper plates backwards so you get that little toothy detail, and you can see those if you look really close. They're above the entrance to the police station.
Well, and we didn't look at it too closely, but in the brick bank, there is along the top of the building there, they used the feather piece, like a whole bunch of feather pieces all stacked up next to each other, and it makes such a beautiful...
Like a repeated pattern.
Yeah, a repeated pattern is really, really great. Now you can see that there is a donut shop and a callback to the brick bank. There's a laundromat, and I believe it's the same branded laundromat as one.
Well,
from
there's
the other
a
one.
sign. The Suds. Did I have that? Yeah, the Suds sign refers to the other laundromat.
Right. I think that's really cool.
So this included 2 male and 1 female 1940s era police officers, female donut shop employee, and a male newsstand operator, the donut thief.
The donut thief. Yes, because there's always got to be intrigue. There's always got to be intrigue.
See, we're not rescuing animals like in Heart Lake City. We are solving crimes, shopping, and eating out.
Let's see. Oh, and we're back to the beginning.
Back to the beginning.
So what we did want to say. Yes, go ahead.
Oh yeah, there's a little more to the story.
There is a little more to the story. So, so something else that came out of this was the mini modulars, which Jamie Berard designed.
Yep. For fun. He just wanted to have some fun little designs.
And I've got one right here. This is the City Hall one. It's a really great little model, I've got to say.
All the mini modulars were on 8x8 plates.
Yep. So these were...
Oh, that's long... Well, the building is 8x8. The plate is a little deeper there.
Yeah. So there was a theater, a pizza restaurant, a fire station, and a town hall. Again, this is the town hall.
In the first release,
In the first release. And then there were 4 more. That was in 2014. And then in 2015, exclusive to Toys R Us, was the hotel, train station, bakery, and Toys R Us, and this was for Bricktober, so these would be just available.
Those have to be really collectible now because they weren't in the stores.
Yeah, and I can't remember, we got these stores as part of our some of our very first thing, and I gotta say, like,
the frog statue is so cute.
Yeah, the frog thing is really cool, and let me see if I can get this in focus here. There we go. I also like the use of the brick that has the little bar that comes off of it as an architectural detail.
Oh yeah, almost like little other columns.
Right, and then you can see that it did come with the holes on the side so that you could link them together.
They're modular.
Interesting that they did the one with the 2 rather than the 1. I guess that's so that they would, hold together.
Well, because on the larger modulars, they have 2 bricks with
that's
one
right,
wall.
Of course, that makes sense.
For more
Otherwise,
stability.
they would just twist off.
And then, while it would make an exciting city to put them all together, there is another huge line that technically are modulars.
Right, so Ninjago City... Ninjago City Docks and Ninjago City Gardens and the Spring Lantern Festival are technically modulars. They are created with the modules in the same place, so you could really incorporate them in your town if you wanted to. But
if you wanted your bank to look tiny,
right,
then you could put it next to Ninjago City.
Now, so what was cool about the Ninjago City one was it was the same structure as the usual modulars with a 32 base plate with the holes in the right places, and then a river that matches the same dimensions as the sidewalks in a regular modular.
Yeah. Now, if you put them all together, you don't end up with just a straight street, though, right? There's some, when you get with the docks and all that, isn't it a little? It's not just rectangular.
I think it's straight across, but I'm not positive because I haven't put it together yet.
I know the docks are still in a grocery bag. All the unopened bags for the docks are sitting tied up in a grocery bag, which was
from the old LEGO Masters.
Only way we could get it on the plane. We carried it on.
So, oh, and I just wanted to say a thank you to Tom Alphin, who is the writer for Brick Architect, and he did an interview with Jamie Berard in 2018. That's where we pulled those quotes from. Also, wanted to thank Brickset writer Captain Rex and Brick Fanatic writer Chris Worf, all for their their research.
Really thoughtful stories about the modulars.
And we tried to pull some information from lots of different places. So
so that's modulars. You know, I always learn a lot more about these in doing the research for them.
Yeah, it was
It's
really
nice
fun.
to see them all next to one another as a line, right?
And I'm sure I will inevitably get the emails after this that say, "Darn you guys, because now I have to go out and buy X set." So,
well, there's worse things we could do than point out the cool things about stuff.
well, I did put a warning in the description of the video that this might, cause a new addiction. So
Careful.
I warned you.
Just be careful.
I'm just saying. Golly, thanks everybody so much for joining us today. It was, Joel has pet shops for trade. Just saying. Thanks everybody.
We encourage trading.
We do.
Especially with us.
We do. So,
with everyone.
thanks everybody so much for joining us today. If you want to find us on the
down at the zip code.
There we go. And I heard I heard that there was not. Okay, so I'm just letting you know. Every single scene that we go through, I have to add the microphone, or the new microphone onto, and apparently I just didn't. So, you could read it. It's fine.
Oh, on the contact?
Yeah. This is the technological mistake show, and I can live with that.
Well, our show is like Lego. If it breaks, you can put it back together.
Exactly. So so sorry about that. I know I thought I had it all dialed in, but I didn't have it all dialed in. But
Mostly.
at least it sounds better when it is on.
Oh, yes.
Right?
You know the drill.
So I appreciate that. Thanks everybody for bearing with us through the technical difficulties today. We are going to be back on Friday with all of your minifig scene 2-week challenge build photos. And Sunday with Brenda and Kevin on Board Toys and Art and Jest. And then next
our
Wednesday,
regular cast of characters.
And our regular cast of characters, Moto, Kara, Holly, and Blair. And sometimes Blair. More lately, though, which is great.
Yep.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yes, and next Wednesday, please join us in welcoming Ben Alder, the fan designer of the Winnie the Pooh set, who's going to be joining us for an interview. So we're really, really excited about that. And I promise I'll have all of our issues worked out by then. So thanks, everybody, for joining us.
You do a good job, Flynn.
Thanks, I try. We'll see you on Friday. And until then, don't forget to stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, wear your mask, get that vaccine as soon as you can, and we'll see you next time. Bye everyone.
Happy building.